Before we do that, I'd like you to just take a second and look around. Right now, I want you to look around a little bit, see who's around you. Because I guarantee you're going to get to know a few of your neighbors before the night is out. Because we're going to put into practice the team-based approach that you're about to learn. The first thing we're going to do together is I'm going to teach you how to distinguish the difference between a value add and a non-value add activity. To help you get lenses, a different set of eyes to look critically at what we do in our businesses to make money. Then we're going to form teams of 3 to 5 people. And I'll talk you through this as we go. You don't have to remember all this. And we're going to do some brainstorming about what are the sources of waste that could eat 30 to 70% of every dollar we spend. And then we're going to go through and I'm going to teach you a real simple, fast, easy technique to quantify that so that we can then focus our energy on the low-hanging fruit, the things that we can go after first that will make a really big difference quickly in our organization. And you know what? Ideas are great, but it's until we do something that counts, right? We have to take action. So I'm going to run you through how do we actually set up an effective action plan to make that happen.
The more complex it gets, the bigger the risks that you need to manage in the change process. And then finally, Kaizen, most of us have heard the term. Kai, to change or to take apart. Zen, for the better. So that's the simple Americanized version, change for the better, or you could call it business process reengineering or business process review. But it's a team-based approach of putting people together with the right set of tools, right, and guidance to pick the right things at the right time to solve the problems at hand, okay? So think about it as a holistic toolkit. My hypothesis is any service organization that can master just these handful of things can go a long way to being best in class in their industry.
Everybody back. I know this is too much fun. But thank you. I would like to know if a few of you would be willing to share with everybody what you and your partner talked about.
We had talked about critically analyzing each and every aspect of our organizational structures.
It would be nice to prevent waste before it happens.
You take action on smaller problems. We tend to solve them before they become big problems.
We need to get really, really brutal about the focus on preventing mistakes, escaping into a value. How many of you here are in the manufacturing business in some fashion? Okay, quite a few of you. So from the safety perspective in your organizations, how many fatalities at work are okay every year? Okay. Yeah, none. How many amputations, broken backs, how many of those are okay every year? Of course. So what you get to is the only acceptable target for safety in an organization is what? 0. Yes, thank you. It's 0. My argument with you is if you don't feel the same way about waste and you don't feel the same way about variation and defects escaping and impacting your customers, we need to think about that. The other thing that's true is if we catch a problem early in the value stream and we can correct it, the cost, the impact to our customers and cost is minimal. But typically, the further away that defective result is found, the more exponentially costly that is to our organization.
So, what I'd like to next do is share with you some additional skills around interviewing and this thing we're going to call Socratic questioning. How many of you have ever heard of Socratic questioning before today? All right, some of us have. Okay, great. It was the philosopher called Socrates that got all that started. And essentially, it's around seeking to get the other person to answer their own questions by making them think and drawing out the answer through dialogue and discussion. One of the techniques I recommend when you first go out to meet with subject matter experts to collect data is ask them what makes them crazy about the process. Well, that's kind of a form of Socratic question because they're as-ising, they're getting a chance to be heard, we're putting the issues out there so that they can have their say, and then we can work with it from